Alright guys, welcome to the instructional video on the mean. And the first thing I want to point out to you is that word mean up there and what it actually means. Mean is really just a fancy word for average. And you're all familiar with averages. You get them when you calculate your average at the end of term. And the way you do that is really simply to take any series of numbers and add them all up and then divide by the number of numbers that you have. So a couple of things before we get started. Just the symbol for mean, and the symbol for mean is always going to be that little X with a bar over it, and that's what we're going to use to represent the word mean or the word average. And the way that we're going to go ahead and get the mean is to take each of these numbers and add them together. So I'm going to go -4 plus 42 plus 10 plus 0. I'm going to come back talk to you about that one afterwards. Plus, and you have to be careful here, -35. And when I'm writing out my solutions, I like to use brackets to offset that negative. Now, I'm going to have to do a division afterwards, and I'm going to divide by the number of data points that are in the set. And in this particular set, right here, if you count them, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to divide by 5. Now, I want to point out to you that that number 0 still counts as one of the numbers. And you think about it, if you got a 0 in one of your classes, God forbid, that would really affect your average. It would bring your average way down to take a 0 as one of your subjects. And so it's the same thing in any set of numbers. You have to use all the numbers. Don't get fooled that that 0 counts. That's why we added it. We know it didn't affect the sum, but it does impact the value of the number on the bottom of the fraction. In other words, that 5. We're not going to divide by 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to divide by 5. We're going to include that 0. So now over to the calculator. You got to be careful with your calculator about the order in which you push your buttons to see how you make that 4 a negative. Some calculators make you push it first, the negative button first, like this one here. Others make you put the 4 and then switch it to a negative. You have to experiment with yours to try that out. Plus 42, plus 10, plus 0, which I know isn't going to change the number, but I'll put it in there, plus, and then -35. Be very careful about that. Adding, you can see it right here, plus the -35. And when I do that, I'm going to get 13 for the top of that fraction. And now I still have to remember that I need to divide that by 5. And then hit equals, and you get 2.6. So the mean, or the average, of this set of numbers is 2.6. Okay, so you just add up all the top, hit equals to get that sum of 13, and then divide by 5 in this case, and simplify, and you're done. So just as a reminder, don't forget that that 0 is one of the 5, and you'll be good.